6, 7, 8. You are my second biggest audience. So congratulations. Go grab somebody from out in the hallway and maybe we can add more. So my talk is called Hackers Are People Too. It's an idea I had about a year ago to talk about, the negative connotation of the word hacker, how other people see us. Kind of builds on Jason Street's keynote from the other day. The first time I watched that was at B-Sides Columbus almost a year ago. So this is me. I'm Amanda, Infosystir on Twitter and IRC and a whole bunch of other social media places. I have been a Blue Team member for 7 years or so. I was in healthcare for a while and just recently changed jobs a week ago and started working in the education sector, doing consultancy work for a lot of school districts in Michigan. I only started in InfoSec about a year ago. DrrCON last year is what kind of got me started in InfoSec. So that's why this is kind of a noob talk, just because getting up here on stage was the hardest for me. I wanted to keep it easy and just talk about something I was passionate about, and maybe try and educate some people also. I'm like a Linux and PowerShell noob. I'm from Northern Ohio, single mom, 3 kids, 3 wonderful boys, ages 3, 6, and 12. So I'm really busy all the time, which I'm fine with, but they keep me hopping. So this is some of the stuff I do. I'm a sysadmin, so all infrastructure stuff, Windows Server 2008 R2 was kind of my primary focus for a while before I actually got into InfoSec. I didn't actually realize that was even called blue teaming until about a year ago. Now I'm doing some purple stuff, which is, if you don't know, is a combination of blue teaming and red teaming in internal organizations, doing phishing for user education purposes, just to let them know that it's possible. Human is the weakest element, that whole kind of thing. That's probably what my next talk's going to end up being about, is the phishing program that I put on in the healthcare organization that I was at, and the different metrics and stuff and different things that I learned implementing that. Oh, and I did SIM management too, which was god-awful. So why I'm here. There was an article published at DrrCON last year that kind of really hit home. I finally had found a group of people that I really enjoyed being around. I felt at home. It was something that I could really start to feel passionate about. And this guy in the local newspaper decided to put something up on his Facebook about, down at the Hyatt, there's this con going on with hackers. They're picking locks. They're doing all this kind of stuff. Jason alluded to that in his whole talk if you went there. If not, I really suggest watching his talk on YouTube or whatever next con he's going to, because he was a lot of my inspiration for this. So that article sparked a whole bunch of comments online about how we need to be arrested and put in jail, and what next are they going to be teaching us. And, support from my friends. I never would have gotten up here by myself. Never wanted to public speak. It actually gets better. I'm really surprised how, I'm not up here saying and giggling like I was the first time. So, thanks to all my friends. And they're awesome. Dr. Whom isn't here, but you can find him on Twitter. So the prep, I had an idea of, that I wanted to change people's perception, because I'm a mother of 3. I've never been to jail yet in my life. Yet there's time. The night is still young. So I had an idea that I wanted to change people's perception of hackers. So that's what I tried to do. So I tend to dream big. I have all these great plans, and I like to spoon dry lakes. So, let's see here, 7 years ago, I had bought a 1884 farmhouse, completely stripped it, gutted it, I mean, to the studs, and me and my husband, who is almost my ex, is completely went through and, just redid everything. I like being meticulous, and I like dreaming big. I figured this would go places, right? So I wrote an article, more just like a blog post for myself. I figured, hey, if they're so eager to publish things about hackers, down in Louisville, maybe I could get a lot of our local papers to publish an article that I've written based on how awesome hackers are. It didn't really work. They were more interested in publishing articles about how the Christmas lights were still up in March or something like that. They offered me an online spot, never actually published it. So whatever. It took me a little bit to get traction. But it kind of did grow from there, just because I wasn't going to give up. It was something that I still hold dear. So I also made it nice and pretty. It got downvoted to oblivion on Imgur. Just people calling me Script Kitty. But I thought it was a cool way to kind of present the information. Put pretty pictures on it. And then I started freaking out, especially when so Dr. Whom actually asked me to put in a CFP at Circle City Con, which was my first con ever I spoke at. Well, I did horrible. Never watched that one on YouTube. This one should be way better, as the last one was way better, and I hope to keep on getting better. And so it was his idea. I think it was a little bit self-serving for him, maybe. He didn't want to see me succeed. He just wanted to see the con succeed. So trying to get the article out there. So I'm the press director for a band that I'm in. So I have 30 or 40 email addresses for press accounts on different, magazines and papers and stuff like that, all throughout Northern Ohio, Southern Michigan. I figured, well, I'll say, hey, maybe you guys would want to publish this, try and get it to the right people in your organization. That didn't get anywhere either. The Imgur thing, I told you didn't get anywhere. I put it up on Twitter, Facebook, Google+, all the social media, and I did learn quite a bit. That I should maybe start talking to people too. I like sitting behind my computer and just putting the article out there and hoping people will listen to it, but it's easier to talk to people when it's something that you're passionate about too. So I kind of made it a challenge to myself. I started to talk to people at my dentist appointment and changing my oil and, anywhere that I could strike up a conversation about what I did for a living and what I wanted to do for a living. And, I just kind of went from there and got some really, really interesting feedback. So there's some of the positive feedback. I've been told that I'm really, really bad at taking compliments, so that's why I put this slide on there. Once he actually, Bill Gardner pointed out a documentary that I accidentally kind of stole the title from. There's a documentary out there called Hackers Are People Too, and it's a good documentary. I cover a little bit more, not more. I cover some different stuff than they do in the documentary, but it's definitely worth a watch. And I apologize to whoever did it because I didn't mean to steal your title. So that's the link to the documentary. And there's some of the negative feedback. This is actually the reason I wanted it in my local newspaper. It's just it's like reading YouTube comments. It's just painful, and there's a lot of stupid people. But I wanted that. I really, really wanted the content. Really, I wanted a couple slides of negative comments, but I just took the ones that I could. I got yelled at for plagiarizing the name and got into. I didn't get into a dramatic Twitter fight, but someone tried to get me in a dramatic Twitter fight. I got some really good questions. So, yeah, the I thought all hackers were bad came from a lady that was doing an X-ray of my ankle or something like that at the time. So we had the entire time she was doing X-rays. We had like a 40-minute conversation on hackers. It was awesome. I got to teach her a lot of stuff, and you know, changing perception and getting, you know, that little light bulb to turn on, and when people realize that we're not all criminals is awesome. This was an idea of somebody that I had also talked to, because I realize most of you people know all of this kind of stuff, but the C-levels don't always, especially when they're not super security conscious in their organization. So I added some of this stuff too. I'll try and go a little bit fast through it, just because I know you guys, I mean, for the most part, you should know what's in here. So here's all the hats. There's a whole giant Wikipedia article on it. I added purple hat, because I love the purple team. And I was told it's not a hat, it's a team, but I don't care. I wanted it on there anyways. And blue hat's on there, and that's the team too. So I'll break down to the white hat. The white hat, the most part, are all of us. I'm not judging, but it should be all of us. You know, you're credentialed, you're, you know, SOC analyst, you're blue team, red team, you know, whatever. We're all white hats, and you should hire us. And the black hat are, you know, like the elusive 4chan guy. You know, he's the black hat guy. Gray hat also could be. This is. I think I took this off of Wikipedia. Also, I was pointed out that it could be like a white hat for during the day and black hat at night, just for the hell of it or for fun. So that's a gray hat, just kind of falls somewhere in the middle. And then I wanted to see what else was out there. I'll give you a second to soak it in. Oh yeah. So that was my first DrrCON. They raised over $13,000. This year they raised over $64,000. Is that right? Yeah. Holy shit, that's a lot of money. The closing ceremony video for that is amazing and heartwarming and heartbreaking, and everybody in the room was crying. It was absolutely amazing. Yeah, so I should probably take that line out of there because we did beat it this year. Blood code is something that I learned from, I heard about it on Twitter or the DEF CON feeds or something like that. They actually take blood donations, and then they did like bone marrow stuff also. And the EFF. I can't miss them. I went to my mom and I asked her, you know, what she thought of these different things too, and she's like, "What about Anonymous? They're really bad, aren't they?" So I had to add Anonymous on there, and found some of the good stuff that they actually do. I think they've been getting a better rap lately because, I mean, the whole Westboro Baptist Church thing, and you know, they actually caught pedophiles and cartels. So that's awesome. A lot of people don't know about this, and I really like taking advantage of this this project. So Mubik started Project Mentor, I don't know, maybe 6 months ago, something like that. No matter what your skill level is, it is amazing. He actually puts up a new challenge it used to be every week. I think now he's doing it every month because he didn't really get much widespread adoption. But he kind of just puts a question out there, or hey, go look this up and tell me what you've learned type blog post. Like one was about SCADA. I never knew what SCADA was until he put that up there and I went looking into it. This last one was about web enumeration. So he gives you an IP address and he says, I want you to find the 28 sites that are on this web server. Go. Right? If you have any questions, he emails you back fairly quickly for the super busy dude that he is. So yeah, I definitely take advantage of this. I hope he keeps on doing it because it's been a real benefit to me. And he's an awesome guy if you've never met him. So somebody sent me to training. I need to update this. I've been slacking. Sorry. Somebody actually sent me to training. I have absolutely no idea who it was, but thank you if you're here. I got to go to, so you want to be a pen tester at GrrCON for free. It wasn't a class that I was going to be able to afford, and somebody found out that I wanted to go. So that was awesome. A friend of mine, Josh, actually started up a crowd tilt for me to go to my first DEF CON because, one, I've never been there, and two, I think he just wanted somebody to party with. So I actually had a bunch of people, send me $20, whatever, to pay for my plane ticket and for my hotel and for my DEF CON ticket. So that was awesome. And all this is just extremely humbling. This is the reasons why I love this community and I never plan on leaving. And then all the support and guidance that I've got, just the friends that I've made and, the experience that I've gotten and the opportunities that I've been given have just been phenomenal. So this is Martin Bose. It's just a joke. It was funnier when he was in the room. But if you ever meet him, just make sure you let him know that he's a thought leader. It's a whole AccuVant thing. You can actually be a certified thought leader, I'm pretty sure. The reason why I want to go work for AccuVant eventually, just to become a certified thought leader. Or maybe not. This is awesome. As big of a proponent I am of drinking, yes. Also a big proponent of responsible drinking, not passing out in the field. It's always a good stepping point. But ShmooCon actually runs an AA meeting. Nathan has a really good article, and so does Bill Brenner. And the top one is Movix's blog post also. But about not getting up on stage when you're hammered, because a lot of these cons, people come from all over the world to watch you speak. You should be intelligible, and they don't want to watch you stand up and stumble while you're speaking. They're sitting here. They have they're spending their time watching you speak. You should make sense, and not like fall off the stage or go up. Never mind. I shouldn't say that's on tape. So I'm the Calvary. It's another really cool thing. Depends on who you are, I guess. There's a lot of pushback on it, but I'm going to talk about the good stuff because that's my opinion, and you're listening to me. So it is a movement that they're trying to get more embedded security and security practices in, things like critical infrastructure, healthcare devices, and the first one they actually put out there was for the automotive industry. So they had this 5-star program that they were working with lawmakers on and working with car manufacturers on to try and get it so the next time, we have these self-driving cars that are going to be coming out, they can't shut off your brakes if they hack into your radio. So that's a great movement. I'm actually volunteering for them as well, and they need volunteers, so you can actually go to their website. They have some really good talks out there. I think they've been up for about a year now. I think this last DEF CON they've been an organization now for an entire year. I'm like writing their FAQ or in my spare time, trying to write their FAQ. But some really cool guys, some really good speakers, and good friends of mine. All right, this is something else that Nathan put together. And this kind of got a discussion going about if we should come up with a different word other than hacker. And I don't know. I like the hacker. We're pretty true to the word. But stop calling the bad guys hackers. I guess you could just call them criminals, or maybe start putting black hat in front of it, criminal is the best word, because I mean, when you're breaching companies that you don't have a contract with, or you're, you know, any of that, you know, the pictures and all that, that's definitely a criminal activity. That's not what we're all about. And you people, because you're at my talk, and you may have exceeded 2, 3, 4. You may have exceeded. You're like my biggest audience ever. Woo! So thank you. You're all on my good list. All those other people that went to that other talk. Fine. You're still on the slide deck, James. So the bad. I was actually talking to Matrix about this a little bit ago. He's like a DEF CON goon. We follow each other on Twitter and stuff. And the whole drama crap. I have a couple blog entries on it just because I try not to bitch and moan and complain or anything, but I got tired of everybody screaming sexist, you know, and all the other drama that several people usually create at cons on Twitter or wherever else. So just don't do that. That Sterling Riggs, the dude that wrote the article, I just had to put him on the ugly side. And because he pissed so many of us off. Yeah. I know! He does have really nice teeth. He's still an asshole, but he's nice teeth. So what you can do, I need another step because I really want it to be a 12-step program. You know, just to go along with the drinking theme earlier. I did get to add one. It's like almost a duplicate, but it counted enough that I could add another. Did I? Oh, you're right. I could. We now have a 12-step program. Yes, exactly. The next one will be naming rights. We're going to claim the word hacker back. So, if you're organizing a con, what we tried to do at Circle City, which was our first con ever, and you definitely should go. It's June, not to be, you know, all self-promoting, but it's June 22nd through 24th, I think, in Indianapolis. So definitely go and volunteer. I need volunteers. We tried to proactively contact the media, and I think for the most part, cons have gotten a little bit better about that. Is getting media actually in here so they don't just like throw us under the bus. Don't be a douchebag. I mean, really. There's a couple cons that I went to, like B-Sides Columbus one specifically. It was like my second con, so I was still like really super sheltered, and the one that was sitting in the corner and like saying, "Oh my God, I know them from Twitter," and you know, I had to get on the bus to go to this parking lot, and there was this guy saying, "Oh my God, I'm such an awesome hacker," and he's just being a jerk, like that guy that everybody always like, yeah, you remember that guy on the bus. There's like some older couples like sitting up front that were just like trying to not pay attention. I mean, like that's not the name we want to get out for ourselves. We want to let them. I mean, we want to let everybody know that we're good people too. So if you happen to be on the news or in papers or anything like that, definitely go with the whole criminal versus hacker thing, and just mention how awesome we are. Get it out on Twitter, Facebook, whatever. Especially like I started with my family and friends, which got a lot of them asking questions also. And then start talking about it. You know, everything that I just talked about, you know, let people know. You know, the girl that just did my tattoo, she's like, "Oh my God, I would love to be a hacker. How do I get into it? You know, what do I do?" And then she wanted to learn how to pick locks. So we were bringing locks over to her while she's doing tattoos. So as long as you start talking about your passion, it's going to get out there. A lot of times I would just reply with, I'm in IT. And then of course, they ask you to fix their computer. Um, uh, I've actually tried to pitch the idea because I really, really hate doing tech support for my own family. And I know my mom's gonna watch this and be pissed off, but like, I want, I'll do tech support for your family if you do it for mine. We're doing it for free anyways, right? We're just gonna spin up a website, and it's like wife swap, but with your family and nothing, just IT support. So getting them involved, teach them what a hacker is. If you want to show them how easily it is to get out of handcuffs, that's a hacker thing. When you're baking, if you're, adding other crap, if you run out of ingredients, that's kind of the same thing. It's just hacking in the kitchen. And then ask them how they feel about the company that they work for, or the church they go to, or any of that kind of stuff. Kind of get their wheels moving, because there's so much unsecure stuff out there. Just went to the education sector. It's terrible. Absolutely terrible. I thought healthcare was bad. Healthcare at least has money. To put into their infrastructure. Seriously. I mean, I went into one of the knocks, and it's an old classroom in a crappy building with cables coming out of the ceiling. One guy running around doing the PC repair and the switching and the firewalls and the APs. That's it. That's the guy's job. That's horrible. I felt so bad, and just terrible, terrible security. And they have, an awesome connection to the internet, completely pwnable. It's just trying to get everybody's wheels thinking about security. It's not just our job. I'm a real big proponent for canned responses. I have several based on how fast a password can be cracked. And it's kind of been changing, but the math's kind of still the same, just depending on how much resources you throw at it. Teaching them how to pick good passwords. What are some of the other ones that I have? I think I have them written down. Oh, password saves. Right before I left the hospital, we had this Family Feud style game going on where it was the top 20 most common passwords or something like that. And when the nurses come up and say, "Oh, my password's on here," like, oh shit, no! Now you need to go change it, and wherever else you're using that password at, you need to go change it. But then they're like, "Oh, we have 20 passwords." I have 500. Keep a password safe. Teach them how to use a password safe. It's way, way, way easier. And do it for the children, right? It's what we do for the children. I love that. That used to be my profile picture on Facebook. Mommy Weisler server in the house. I'm teaching my 12-year-old to do a little bit of stuff with Minecraft servers. His first laptop was Ubuntu. Comes out and asks me a question. I'm like, I don't know, Google it, figure it out. That's what I do. That's what we're all paid to do, right? I mean, really? I don't know much. I just know how to Google better than that guy. A friend of mine actually went to Hack for Kids, which is really, really cool. He did a Wireshark class for some kids in Chicago. Very, very cool concept. They got to watch the plain text passwords go back and forth, and realize how they can use the tool, and what what IP addresses and VLANs and switches are, and really, really cool for kids. DEF CON actually has a really cool kids track also. I don't think Derby had anything for kids, but I mean they're definitely welcome. There's a lot of kids there usually. Oh, and I also have a note on here, for the love of God, stop calling everything hacking. Just because you left your Facebook open and I put crap on there, that's not hacking. So show your passion. Some other really, really cool talks I recommend. At Derby, I didn't recommend Eve's because it was in the next track, right next to me at the same time. But it is a really good track. Really good talk. And breaking out of your shell, I've gotten a little bit better, depending on how many people I actually know, and I guess how I'm feeling that day, if I've drinking anything. And then the bottom part is, this is thanks to Radis and Secure Holio. And again, there's not enough freaking people in here to do it, but I'm supposed to pause, give you like 5 minutes, kind of a time killer for me because I'm only at a half an hour now. But just to kind of talk to each other, turn to the person to your right. There isn't any. I know there isn't anybody. Or your left, if you don't. Yeah, never mind. So talk to it's baby steps. First, talk to the back of his head, and then, yeah, whatever. It doesn't work anyways. There's not enough of you in here. Of you people. You people. That's right. You people. You MySec people. I'm sorry, Wolf. Oh, you're right. Where'd you go? Stay here. Stay. Please don't leave. So random acts of InfoSec. Things like volunteering at your church and giving them a Wi-Fi password. Teaching. Going to workshops, going to high schools, going to any kind of organization that you can put up a booth. Do whatever. Just to get the word out there too. And awkward hug everybody. That always breaks the ice. Yes, he loves awkward hugs, just so you know. He does. He loves them. Yes. Unless it's like con day 3, and everybody's getting real funky smelling. Never go in the CTF room, like at a con on day 3. Oof. It's not pretty. And don't be an ass to normal users. I always try to get it across people's minds that, just because security is everybody's job doesn't mean it's everybody's job. The nurses and the doctors, they were always, they're completely focused. They went to school for that. You went to school for IT. Don't assume that they know how to do stuff. Or, yeah, well, doctors is a whole nother story. Yeah. And don't be an ass to the rest of us. I'm an ass to a lot of people, but usually it's in jest. If it's not, you'll know. I just won't talk to you. My feathers don't get ruffled very easily, so I'll just ignore you. Or I'm scared to talk to you too. So don't think I'm. Never mind. So lots of good stuff. This is my happy feely, slide. Just wanna cuddle the little kitty. Gives me a warm and fuzzy. All right, so summing it all up, 11 will now be 12 steps. Thank you. Include local media, no douchebags allowed, mention it everywhere. It's a lot of fun to talk about, especially if you're like, hey, we raised $64,000 to help kids in Uganda. They're getting what are they getting? They're getting a hackerspace with that money. They way outshot their budget, and now Johnny Long has to figure out what to do with all the extra money. And then there's all the other stuff. Sweet. There's the closing. I should have gotten the sound. They asked me if I had sound, and I said no. I should. You could just think about it. You know the song. Yeah, you're right. So if you enjoyed it, you can buy me a drink. If you didn't, I don't care. You can still buy me a drink if you want. And then I'll just walk away if you didn't like it. With the drink. I'm not going to leave it. And then there's my stuff. So, thank you for coming. Walking